You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building.
Legendary.
John Singleton.
Yes.
Good morning, sir.
What's happening? Good morning.
Welcome.
Now, we walked in and we were talking about Fetty Wap.
I know it's unfair that like people that when they come from a certain place, they try to go back there and just show love to their folks, and then somebody just has a problem. I was saying that's the same thing that used to happen with Pac. That's what happens with a lot of people from hip hop over generations. It doesn't matter if it's like out here, East Coast, West Coast. You go back and then somebody want to like throw some shots at you or toss some smack. You know what I mean? Like,
and you feel like you have to do something.
And then they take your chain,
then
wear it.
Like, yeah.
And then it's so backwards because it's like, oh, he ain't real. You don't come back to the hood. And then when you come, you get shot at. And you wonder why I don't come back.
And then they say, I don't have a personal problem, but I did take a picture with his chain on and post it on Instagram.
The dude that took the train took a picture with it?
He said he didn't take it, but a whole bunch of people were taking pictures with his chain on.
So, Fetty, if you got real love there, that'd be somebody he got to be like, you know what? Get my stuff.
I'm sure he'll get back. He knows who
get my
got
stuff.
This is a small world.
Yeah, it's so small. I like.
Now,
and then bring it to him.
Pac was your guy, right?
Yeah.
Is it true that you had a trilogy of movies that you wanted Pac to star in, and Baby Boy was supposed to be the first?
We had many movies. I mean, we used to sit up. The goal was he was gonna teach me how to write songs, and I was gonna and make music, and I was gonna show him how to direct and do.
So you were gonna be a rapper?
No, I was never gonna be a rapper, but I was gonna write songs. I do write a little things in, but I don't spit no.
How'd you meet Pac? How did y'all meet?
We met through Shakim and Latifah and the whole Flavor Unit crew out here actually in New York back in the day. Y'all younger than me, but used to be this place called Big City Diner, all the way downtown, and there was a party for Dana for Latifah there, and he was there, and then I saw him again at the Beverly Center. Just walking around, because he had just got off tour. And
Beverly Center is the mall in
Beverly
LA.
Center. He was talking to girls. But I said, we got to need to get up. And then it was funny because I was going to do Poetic Justice. It was like putting it all together. Janet was already in. But I was like, originally Ice Cube was supposed to be in it. And Ice Cube didn't want to be in a romance.
Cube was going to be Pac's part?
Yeah. And
Wow.
Cube was like, I said, man, chicks think they like you. And he's like, I can't do that right now in my career. I said, okay, all right. So then I called Tupac up because I had just seen Juice before it even came out, way before it came out. And I said, we got to talk about something. And then we just started really talking.
Was he supposed to be Jody and Baby Boy too?
It was written for him.
Wow.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Now, is it true that Janet, and this was always a rumor, I just never heard that Janet made him take a test to make sure he didn't have any diseases?
You going through old stuff.
That's a lot.
It's new to the kids, though.
Yeah, it's definitely new to the kids.
That was a joke between all of us on set because all the guys like Janet, and I was like salting Pac out like because he was really like enamored of her. Everybody's looking at her. We didn't know she was married, and I was like, I don't know if I want you to kiss my actress. Who knows where y'all have been? You've been there. Like, his eyes. You need to take an age test. So we just started joking on the set.
Right.
And then we were like, because that Jackson thing is to like throw controversy out there and then people just write about it. So, and look at it, 20 years later, y'all still talking about it.
Was it ever
Seriously.
weird like directing Janet Jackson and having to tell her, because that's Janet Jackson. Do you ever feel like when you get on?
We're friends. I mean, she went places in that, and when we were working on that movie that she had never been before. Well, actually, that had been before, actually, when she was younger.
Penny, good time.
Jabbarge. But she was down in the 60s off Crenshaw. She was at Roscoe's, old Roscoe's, not, all these different places.
Not the new and improved Roscoe's.
Yeah.
Right.
She was like, so it was just all love, man. We were a happy family.
We always hear stories that when you go to those areas, you have to get permission, or there's certain people that you have to have in movies to make it okay. Was that the same back then?
It's the same now. I mean, when you shoot, you just have to. When you shoot in urban areas, you have to have love for where you shoot, or you have to have people. That it's not about extortion. It's not about whatever. You just have to have respect from the area. You know what I mean? And like when we're doing a TV series called Snowfall right now in LA, and it's all my folks. It's in our hood. You know what I mean? But what we do is we hire people from the area just give them jobs. And it's just like nobody's gonna come around messing around with the folks because it's our place.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then we also bring kids in and be like, look, there's a whole other thing. It's not just in front of the camera, the people working, there's people behind the camera. Everybody here is getting a check. So you look and you see that there's other stuff happening right here.
We're not just coming in and using
because
your
everybody
community. We're actually
everybody
trying to
be
make
on camera. Everybody want to be a star, but you know, the dude that's just like picking that stuff up there, he's in a union and he's pulling down maybe 2 G's a week.
So you don't have to extort me when I'm employing you. Basically, pretty much.
Yeah, but you know,
you were one of the original directors of the Tupac movie, right? They came. You had that first, right?
Yeah, one of the several original.
You actually wrote. Did you write the script?
It seemed like that would have been.
I wrote a script for it. Yeah, I know, but the people involved in it I couldn't deal with them. They were trying to tell me how to make a movie about Pac.
And that was your guy.
And that was your guy.
But you know, come on now, really. So I was like,
Just backed out gracefully.
You do still have plans?
no, I did not back out gracefully. You can read all the clapbacks that I did on my IG.
That's why we know
I did
about
not
it.
black out gracefully. I was like putting them on their backs. I don't even have to speak on that no more. Y'all just see when it comes out, and you'll just know.
It's trash.
You didn't see it though. So.
No, I don't have to see it.
Right.
Come on, you know.
He said, it's not me. It's not me.
It ain't
not
me. It ain't me, so I don't have to see it.
But you did like Straight Outta Compton. You
I
felt
love
like
Straight
that was
Outta
a well
Compton.
done movie.
I love Straight Outta Compton. Love Straight Outta Compton.
Now you're here promoting a new show called Rebel.
Rebel.
And that's on BET.
It's on BT.
We started actually watching some of it because we managed to get a little sneak peek.
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. The first 18 minutes and 30 seconds, I was mad.
I was ahead of him. So
I was mad. I was like, no.
Don't tell nobody.
1832.
Yeah,
I said,
1832.
wow, this is good.
What
Now-
you got? Why are you talking about the times of it? You looking at the time of
He
this?
wasn't because he was like,
Precise.
because he was hitting me like,
Precise
he was like,
Negro.
Angela, how far along are you? And I'm like, I'm over here.
Oh, you guys
so
got the link to watch it, right?
Yeah.
Like to watch it.
Yeah, we really wanted to. My bottom line is because of what was happening last year, I really wanted to do something where I see a black woman putting that foot in the ass of the system. That was my whole thing.
Right.
It's
I
like,
love seeing a strong woman as a lead.
yeah, and she's got different levels to her. You know, she's not just like she's not strong. She's vulnerable and stuff. You know, it's great. Meth plays her husband, and like it's great. You know, see Meth. The cool thing about Meth was this was the first time he had a love scene. You know what I'm saying? And he was just like he was nervous at first. But
Meth?
Really?
yeah,
He's
Meth was-
never had a love scene?
He never had a love scene in the movie.
thought about that.
And I had him. I was like, yo, listen.
You wanna get tampons.
I want you to take her. I want you to take her. I want you to push her up against the wall, and I want you to lick her neck and bite her ear a little bit, and because they're both soldiers. So I gave him this line in it, and they'll see. It's like he's like a lieutenant, and she's like just a gunnery sergeant in the army. And he's like he kisses her on the neck and bites her neck and says, "At ease, soldier," right? And he picks her up and throws her across the room under the bed. And then all the girls in the whole set were going crazy. I said, okay, I think we got a hit here.
Now, Rebel's the first female character that you've done since Poetic Justice?
Yeah, it's first the first like lead, you know what I mean?
Got you.
Like, you know, first lead female.
Why is that?
Just I mean, I'm a man by heart. I mean, it's hard for me to put my head around doing a straight female character. I wanted to do various ones. I wanted to do Zora Hurston's Eyes Watching God, but then they did it for TV with Halle. There's all these different stories I wanted to tell, but this was the first one that came along where I said, okay, this is the time I'm going to do this.
True.
You know.
For people that don't know, explain what Rebel is. I know people are like, what are you talking about? Rebel is a female officer. Explain it a little bit.
Rebel, it's a movie and TV show that's coming on tomorrow night, BT, and directed by B.
Come on tonight.
It's coming on. Tonight. It's okay. It's coming tonight on BT, and it's basically Shaft with a black woman set in Oakland now, contemporary, and she talks like she's from Oakland. You see all that?
Yes.
She talks like she's from Oakland, and she's just a writer. She's just like she's somebody that a lot of people are gonna get around and feel kind of like they wish they could be her, or they wish they know somebody like her.
And early on, you'll see a twist. We cannot say what it is, but we'll see how her whole life changes pretty quickly on the job.
Very quickly.
Yeah,
Now,
exactly.
Why TV at this point?
Because TV is like it's getting harder and harder to make movies. They're making the same movie over and over again, right? and I still don't do movies, but TV is like there's so much to do on TV. It's like I can make a movie every week in TV.
Yeah, it feels
You know
like
what I mean?
like for you, because you've always made like such socially conscious, films. It feels like that has translated to television now. Like those messages are all on TV and not in the film world.
In some ways, yeah.
You think it's hard to make those kind of socially conscious films now?
Yeah, it is. Unless you kind of like hide it into something that's different. Like like Get Out is like Get Out is a whole other thing. Is he's saying a lot of there, but it's actually a horror movie and a comedy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You gotta hide it. So
What happened to those type of movies like The Boys in the Hood, The Poetic Justice,
Higher
The Higher
Learning,
Learnings, the
Rosewood.
Shafts, The Baby Boy? What happened to those type of those are the movies I grew up on. Like I don't see them.
I gotta get back to making them, but right now I'm just I'm gonna come and do something within the next year that's gonna hit in a different way.
I thought maybe one did bad, and now all the
they all did good.
The companies in LA are saying we're not funding it anymore.
What's happening is they really are making. They don't do dramas as much as they do like special effects, comic book movies. The dramas are moving to television because you make it for a certain price. Then you got to market it for a certain price. So you don't see unless you see a drama at the end of the year for Oscar consideration or whatever. Then they do that. But
do you like how TV and film has evolved?
I love it. It's great. It's like, you see what I've been doing. I'm, from me as a director working on from Empire to OJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm able to do some different stuff, real different stuff.
Now at 24, you was nominated for Best Director and Best Original Screenplay for Boys in the Hood. What was that feeling like at the time? Did it affect you? Did you get an ego or what?
Yeah, of course. How you not? How you not? I was like, y'all can't tell me nothing now. But the thing was, I knew I had a lot to prove. I was like excited. At the same time, I was nervous and afraid. I was like, I got to go back to the lab. You know how artists say, okay, you do something really nice, you got to go back to the crates. I went back and just looked at all these movies and I put myself, like I just got ready to graduate from film school when I did Boys in the Hood. And then I went back to film school and started looking at everything and thinking about what I really wanted to do as a filmmaker.
Was it hard to even get that movie done back then?
It was. I mean, I can't say it was very hard, but it was like, because something was happening at the time. Spike Lee was the only one out there doing dramas, and so when I went in as a when I was still in USC, I went in and started talking to executives, and I was like that. My father always told me the best sell is to be not a hard sell on people. So I was like blase, like, this is one movie I'm a director. And it says, what if we tell you want to do a movie? I said, well, we can end this movie now. I can go across town and go sell it somewhere else. They were like, no, don't do that.
I had a lot of hard time with that movie Boys in the Hood. I remember them banning it for some movie theaters because of at first they thought the violence would be too much.
Actually, what they were going to, because some things happened outside of the movie theaters in some cities. But that stuff happens every weekend. So they tried to make it was. I said, no, y'all not dealing with what's happening within the communities. You're trying to put it on the movie. See the movie, and then you'll understand what I'm talking about. And so people saw the movie, and they were like, okay, this is different from what's going on.
All right, now you've worked with Nia Long, and there's been these reports that she's difficult on Empire. They said they actually had to put together some type of complaint against her, which they've never done before.
Complaint? What?
Yeah, like the hair and makeup people and wardrobe are saying that she's hard to work with. And one actor on set said he'll never work with her again. This is all coming from sources from Empire. Did you have any difficulties?
No, I mean, when I'm working with Nene, I call her Nene. I don't call her Nia.
Nene.
I can call her Nene. I can call her. She's 18 years old. So she's 18 years old. So I don't know nothing about that. And I mean, it's hard to have like, you got some I know I don't want to use the wrong terms, but you got some upper echelon vaginas between her and Taraji Dillon. So
we call those vintage vaginas.
No, that's not what he meant. Upper echelon, as in.
I pronounced that wrong. Huh? I was talking about words that pronounced wrong. upper echelon.
I'm with you.
Upper echelon vaginas, dueling vaginas. You know what I mean? So,
they go to clash.
Have you ever worked with somebody that was really talented, but would it prevent you from working with them if they were difficult, even if they were super talented?
No, not really. I mean, excuse me, Pac was difficult. You know what I mean? But it was because we were all young and like whatever. But there's different people. Tyrese is difficult. Sometimes he don't remember his lines. But you know,
how was working with Tyrese?
but we all, you know, like I work with my folks. I work with my friends mostly. So it's like when they mess up, it's not like, oh, can you please just try that? I'm like in them. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you know what I'm saying? We get back. Well, if you get your right, then we get to go to lunch and we do whatever, right? So we don't do it like it's not a negotiation kind of like mamby-pamby thing. It's like combat when we work together. It's like, and then we go, you know, out afterwards and go do our thing.
Tell me if I'm right. I feel like Pac was probably difficult to work with because he was probably rushing, because he seemed like he wanted to always get so much done.
No, because he was so talented. He had so much. He had so much, like, you know, and mind you, he was only 20 years old when we did that movie.
Wow.
And Janet was like only like 6 or 7 years older than him. So he's got to be the lead in a movie where somebody who was been a superstar all their life, and he's just gotten put on. So it was a lot of pressure.
I bet.
How was Tyrese? Now you mentioned Tyrese forgetting his lines, brother. How was brother Reese?
Reese is cool, man. He's like my baby brother, man. You know, he just sometimes he's on his own thing, you know, but he's he's in his own world sometimes. But he's a talented dude, man. He's a real talented. See what he's doing, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's always working.
Basically, John saying, I look at his Instagram sometimes and say, what the hell is Tyrese talking about? Just like the rest of us do. Now, you directed Michael Jackson's Remember the Time video. Whose idea was it to have Magic Johnson and Chris Tucker as extras?
Chris Tucker wasn't in that, man.
Chris Tucker wasn't in Remember
It
the
was
Time?
Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy!
Right. Magic Johnson, yeah, Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy and Magic.
It was me and Michael's idea to have Eddie Murphy in it, and then Magic came out because he had just announced what happened with him, HIV, and Michael was like, we should do something for Magic. So Michael was like, Michael had a good heart like that. He was like, let's get Magic in there somewhere. Just write something for Magic. Just put him in there somewhere. And Magic was like happy, you know.
What shows are you watching now?
Me? I mean, the ones that are on within the last like 8-9 months, because I've been making television. It's hard to watch. I mean, I love Atlanta.
Oh yeah, love that show
Atlanta,
too.
of course. What else? I still watch some of the old stuff like Homeland.
Oh, that's
amazing,
Envy
man.
show. I haven't seen it yet.
Homeland is amazing. Dang, it's hard to say. I mean, I know when I walk out of here, I'll be like, I should have told him I watched this, but I've been making television more than watching television.
So like so for instance, when you direct an episode of Empire, does that mean you have to go back and watch all of the whole entire seasons?
No. When I worked on the first season of it. See, I went and Lee Daniels called me up. The only reason I'm in TV right now is probably because of Lee, because I hate to brag, but I was sitting on my boat.
Goodness.
My yacht, you know, not
my
a
yacht. I was sitting on. Serious, I know it sounds kind of like janky, but seriously, I was on my yacht.
There you go.
I was chilling, watching something, and then Lee called me up and said, "Man, I need you to come to Chicago." I said, "Wait a minute, I need your help with this. I'm doing a show." And then I was like, "Oh," because Taraji had already told me she was doing it. And I was like, "Man, you wouldn't have a show if I hadn't did Hustle and Flow." Yeah. Man. Just get out here and do it. I need you to come in and show these white people what the show could be. And I said, okay, let me see the pilot, because they had shot the pilot and I hadn't seen it. But Taraji told me she was going to do it. So he showed me the first episode. I was like, oh, this is something. And then he sent me the script, which was written by a friend of mine named Malcolm Spellman. And I was like, okay, well, can I mess with this a little bit with Malcolm? He said, yeah. So I went out there and they said, okay, well, our show is like this. And I said, no, I'm going to show y'all what this show is, because you wouldn't have a show if I didn't pay for Hustle and Flow. So this is what it is. And I'm just dealing with Taraji and Terrence, you know, we're our family. We just got in there. And that's the episode I put D-Ray in. You know what I mean? And she orders that hit.
Yeah.
So
what was his phrase in there? When he shot the dude, I forgot.
Smell the roses. Smell the roses.
Smell the roses.
Smell the roses. Yeah, because the dude sends roses before he takes somebody out.
Yeah.
You know, so like I said, it's just I would hope that black filmmakers and other people understand, like, when people like in like mainstream working on these different films, they always make same films with the same actors. Then with filmmakers, they're doing them because there's a comfortability, and they're just basically friends working together. So when I do what I do, I like to work with folks that I know that are going to give their whole extra mile, you know, whatever I want to do. When we did Baby Boy, like, only Tyrese and Taraji were supposed to have love scenes and get naked. Everybody wanted to get naked. Like I want them to go ham in anything I want them to do in the movie. They'll do, and that's what it's about.
It's interesting too because it seems like you got such a great eye because you had Lawrence Fishburne, Nia Long, Regina King, Ice Cube, Tyrese, Ving Rhames, like did you see that they had that star quality? Because all of them went on to be huge. Taraji.
Yeah, I mean, and now Danielle Monet Truitt. I mean, with Rebel, it's like you work with people that you really just look at and you say, if I could look at them and I can't take my eyes off them, I feel like the audience will feel the same thing about them.
Right.
That's what I do.
Is it harder or easier to work with new talent because of all the?
It's much easier.
Okay.
Yeah, it's much easier. When people done a lot of stuff and they think they could kind of like negotiate or tell you how it should be done, and just like
think they know everything.
I mean, like, come on, man. Just do it.
But they should give input. Like if they're in a scene and they're like, I feel like my character would do this and not that.
Yeah,
then,
but if it goes against what I want, then it ain't right. You know what I mean? Like so, it's like my instincts. I've never made anybody's career bad, so I don't want nobody trying to tell me how they think it should be. It's like, you go direct yourself for some other movie.
Did you ever have to do that? Like get an actor and be like, nah, you got to get out of here.
No, I haven't because people pretty much respect. They they know who they're working with.
Right.
I don't have to deal with that.
Now you also have the show coming on FX, right?
Yeah, Snowfall.
Snowfall. So when you did People vs. OJ, is that how you got that connection with FX and they were like, we want you to do something here?
No, I had already done had the deal to do Snowfall, but then I ended up talking to some friends of mine who were the producers on OJ, and they were like, I was like, I'm from LA. I met OJ a couple times.
Too, yeah.
I want to, this got to be black. Let's, got to be a part of this. And
Dave Chappelle just told his stories about meeting OJ.
Yeah, no, it was funny. Yeah, yeah. Exactly.
What were your meetings like?
He was doing a show called First and 10. Remember that show, First and 10? And I don't know if he was on drugs or he was just like just lit up, but he was just finishing. This is when I was in college, because the people that worked on First and 10, the producers, gave me my one of my first deals just before Boys in the Hood. And he's like a politician. Like, he was a dude that's just like, he'd go out his way to talk to everybody. You know what I mean? And
OJ?
no matter what, yeah. He
Trying to convince people he ain't killed nobody.
Nah, he didn't do that, man.
Yeah, he didn't do it.
He didn't do that. Black Superman. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the documentary?
I did.
Did you see the miniseries?
Yeah, I did. When the documentary is what really made me for the first time be like, I don't know if OJ did it for real.
Remember he was going to do that book, If I Did It, If I Would Have Did It. I was like, come on,
he's
don't
about
do
to get out.
Yeah.
They
said he's doing a reality show when he gets out, too.
Yep, and he's going to say, like, that Kardashian girl is my daughter.
No, he's
Close.
not.
He ain't gonna say that.
They do look alike, though. They do look alike.
Because he cheat on
No,
him.
they
He's
do
gonna
look
say,
alike.
he's gonna say, we were at an orgy and I didn't want to say it, but
Now, a few years ago, you criticized the popular studios. You said they refused to let African Americans direct black-themed films. Is that changing now?
well, that's because there were so many films that weren't directed by black filmmakers that were about important black figures, and like James Brown, and I mean, like, and I was like, when is it gonna end? And they do it, and they get it wrong, and they say, okay, this doesn't work. And you see when something is truly Afrocentric and has soul in it, it propagates in the marketplace.
Absolutely.
So I mean, I had to say something about it.
It got to be for the culture, by the culture, man.
Exactly. It's just a good album. When some of our artists make a great album, it's just like, wow, oh my God, it's so real. It's so like authentic. Well, you're not gonna get that from somebody that is not from that. There's no way you're gonna get that.
So explain Snowfall to us.
Snowfall is set in 1983. It's really about how cocaine changed all of Los Angeles. There's three characters. There's a Mexican wrestler who gets in from the weed business into the coke business.
Come on, Johnny, you got talking to the mic.
And this Mexican wrestler who gets from the weed business to the coke business, and a CIA guy who basically is moving the pipeline from making a pipeline in the west coast of the country. We always hear about Scarface and Miami and all that stuff, but people don't understand how it was hard to get coke into L.A. You know, it would have to come from Miami and be driven across country. But when that pipeline started coming from Central America straight into L.A., it changed stuff. You know what I mean? And then there's a kid who was like a black kid who learns how to sell coke from an Israeli, and it's like just before crack. So the Snowfall is that storm that's coming. You know, when the prices of cocaine go down and people start rocking up, and it just changes everything.
Do you have any rappers in this show? Because when we talk about, you know, doing things for the culture, by the culture, you always did that historically.
The only rapper we have this season is RZA. He's the only one we have.
The RZA.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But he's, you know, RZA's a director, writer, director. He's, you know,
scores.
everything.
What did you
think
see
of
in
Nate
Spark?
Parker's movie? What did you think of Nate Parker's movie, Birth of a
Birth of a Nation?
I loved it. I thought it was good. I thought
You
it was good.
surprised it didn't get a lot of people really didn't support it like I feel like they did.
I
Well, we
wasn't.
know
I knew the
why.
white man
It
was
was
going to
a-
shut that one down.
Why do you think they didn't?
I mean, I think it was we created a lot of controversy behind it and had people feel like, well, because they felt like they couldn't support him, they wouldn't support the movie.
Ask
That's
me.
really what it came down to.
Why do you think they didn't support it?
Because I feel like it was a black liberation movie. It was a story about black liberation, which was Nat Turner. And then it was a black liberation movie because he raised $7.5 million of his own money to make it. They can't allow that to happen.
Now, what do you think?
I think, honestly, after the events of what happened in Dallas, when that dude went crazy and started shooting the cops at the Black Lives Matter thing, the movie, they were going to kill the movie. They killed the movie. That's what it was. That's it.
They thought it was going to spark a revolution.
It's a movie. You know, it's like people were saying Do the Right Thing was going to cause a lot of stuff. It's not about that. It's just like having a voice. It's like, it was just having perspective on things. It's like, that was unfounded, but that's what happened, I think. You know,
Yeah.
and the bad thing is, black people, they fell for the okie doke.
I said the same damn thing. They're like,
fell for
he
the
raped
okey-doke.
somebody. He
They
actually
fell for
got
the
it.
They
okey-doke.
definitely put that controversy
did.
out
They
there
threw
to
that out
deter
there.
people from wanting to see it. And
Yeah,
You know what's so crazy? OG,
but we fell for the okie doke.
OG in the game told me a few months before the movie even came out, because I saw like a pre-screening. He was like, yo, we got to support this movie because they're going to try to hang Nate Parker. And it happened. Like, it literally happened.
Yeah.
Now, what did you see in certain rappers that made you feel like they could take over Hollywood back in the day?
Take over Hollywood. I wasn't thinking that. Just putting them in a movie.
Really?
that's great marketing
Like
too.
Busta Rhymes,
Also,
Ice
I mean,
Cube.
Yeah, Busta, Q, Pac.
I mean, like I said, it's just my folks. It's just people that I'm used to hanging out with, and whatever. It's just like, and they're like, what you got going on? I say, okay, well, let's try this. It's funny. Busta was in Higher Learner and Shaft.
And Cube said you told him to write Friday.
I didn't tell him to write Friday. He wrote.
You told him to write a movie.
Yeah, write a movie. I told him to write a movie because his early work, he was always telling stories in the songs. And I was like, if you write a great song, you can write a movie. You know what I mean?
What do you tell all these young filmmakers that are coming up? Obviously, it's different nowadays because people have access to like their cell phones, all kinds of different software that they can actually do things that's not as expensive as it was. What do you tell these young filmmakers to try to stand out, or aspiring filmmakers?
Just to stay true to themselves and really do what they're passionate about. Not to try to please somebody else. Even if you do something that's you think only you like, or you and your folks are like, then that's what you should do.
It's crazy to see these kids doing these movies with not much equipment. They have one
Exactly.
camera, they shooting movie, they doing it on their
Right.
phones.
Exactly.
Could you ever imagine that? Because I'm sure when you shot Boys in the Hood, you had all types of cameras and lights and everything.
Yeah.
Now these kids got an iPhone, they shoot a movie
Exactly.
same
It should-
quality.
Exactly. I mean, it's phenomenal. I don't think there's no excuse for anybody to not be able to have to be able to tell their story in a big thing, in a big way. But they gotta really study study the classics to make something different. You can't just go out there and get a camera and think you're gonna make the next masterpiece. You got to study.
You think you need to go to school if you want to be a successful filmmaker?
You need to go to either school or some type of formal thing of within yourself. There's nothing to keep you from reading about filmmaking and then watching the movies. It doesn't have to be a formal school. You can
Even on YouTube, you can learn how to do a lot of different things.
Well,
Instructional.
I'm saying, like, I look at it like this. I always tell people, if you really want to go to school, there's always a library. You know what I mean? You got to read about stuff, and then you go watch the stuff, and then you make comparison, and you write about what is. How many of us have watched The Godfather, Scarface, and Goodfellas several times over? Well, there's different things that are in those pictures that make those films special. You know what I mean? And it's all encompassing. It's all the different levels of different things that those filmmakers did.
When you look back at directing Boys in the Hood and how that was for you, directing that, were there a lot of things that you did that you were like, wow, I really didn't really...
I didn't know what I was doing when I was directing that movie. I didn't know. I was like, let me try this, let me try this, let me try this, you know? And it just ended up working out.
People use lines
but I do that
now
everywhere
to this
too.
day.
Huh?
Like people use lines from that movie to this day, from the Ricky to the you want to say that body. Like they use lines to this day from that movie.
Yeah, it's nice. It's beautiful. I mean, it's I would hope they do the same thing for a lot of my other movies, like like Baby Boy. You know.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Great sex scenes.
You supposed to do Luke Cage too, right? At one point.
As a movie, yes.
As a movie.
Yeah. As a movie, yeah.
What would you have changed? Did you watch the TV show at all?
I love it. Yeah, my friend Chael Hadar Coker, he created that show. I love the show. Love the show.
What's your next passion project that you haven't done yet that you've always felt like?
I can't tell you because
Someone else will do it.
it's too premature. When it's solid, I'll be back here. You'll hear about it. But whatever I do is next level. I mean, I stand on my ground and just like, whenever you see me come with something, it's just not just some okey doke. I'm coming like hard with something that people are gonna remember, and hopefully they'll be saying lines from Rebel and and Snowfall and the other stuff that I'm doing on television.
What's your favorite John Singleton movie? If you had to,
I don't have a favorite John Singleton.
Really?
Yeah, almost like my kids. You know what I mean? Like like you just can't say, "Oh, that's my favorite kid." It's like,
But we all you might have one. You just don't say it.
No, I don't.
Come on now. You say you got.
I mean, just one that represented you all the way. Like, here, this is what I'm about.
I mean, Baby Boy really is one of my favorites, but it's not all of what everything. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
That was a movie that I made after I did Shaft, and I was like, I'm gonna do something that I was actually trying to offend black people, but everybody laughed at all the stuff.
Work.
Like, it didn't work because it's like it's like you got a good looking dude doing all these bad things,
Right.
but he looks good, so people are like, oh man,
Where did you get that inspiration from? You were never like that, were you?
No.
Okay, just
like
checking.
No.
Yeah, I don't think it was I think it was honest.
Right.
If anything,
It's honest.
If
We all
you
know
were
a guy
offended,
like
you
that.
knew you was in that situation.
I know.
You had to get out
I'm
of
out in
it.
these streets telling these hoes the truth. I lied to you because I care about your feelings.
Yeah.
Somebody just said that last week on Instagram.
I say that every week.
Who was saying that? Somebody from.
I remember these
Oh,
dudes.
that was Kurt from Love and Hip Hop Atlanta.
Kurt.
He said,
He said
"I
on
love
the
you 'cause I
show?
love you." Yeah.
Oh, dudes just coming to me and say, why you put that in the movie? My girl slapped me after we came out the movie.
That's an age-old debate, though. That'll never end. And I'm gonna tell you what else. I'm gonna tell you what else is in that movie. After they got into that little altercation, and he laid her down and ate her out. I did that last night. Me and my wife was arguing like, we can't go to sleep like this. There you go. That's it. And don't ask for nothing else. Just eat out and go to sleep.
Good night, babe.
That's it.
Now, you have 4 kids. Did any of your kids get in the
I have
movies?
6 kids.
6 kids. Wow.
Yes,
Are they getting in the movies
Jonathan,
as well?
don't show at me.
I mean, both my oldest have both graduated from film school. So, I think so.
Are you gonna help them
Legacies.
out at all? Like, hey, come be on the set and work on the set.
I want to, but they want to do their own thing. They like,
They bugging. I'm on my daddy
I'm gonna
said.
be like, damn, I'm gonna be a
I know. It's like
assistant.
I was like, I can't believe it. Like they just want to do their own thing. They want.
Do you critique their stuff? Do they show it to you and you're like, that's not it?
It's hard. You can't. It's hard. It's hard because
You might be a tougher critic than an average.
Yeah, they
guy.
get nervous when they have to bring the stuff to me.
Were you ever approached about jumping into the TV world in the 90s?
Yeah, all the thought through, man. So many different things in television I turned down, man. I turned down working on The Wire. I turned down working on The Shield.
Ooh, The Wire was
I
my.
turned down a lot of things, but all things in due time, man.
What made you turn down The Wire?
Because I didn't think that they were going to get the urban stuff right. I was, like the whole thing. I was like, okay, how many black people were involved in this? But they got it. They really because the creators of it, Simon and Ed Burns, they were ensconced in that world. So they really took the time to really make it culturally specific.
Right.
And they got the people that they worked on that show, The Corner, and they got some people that worked with on The Corner to work on the Wire. So they really got that Be More thing down pat.
Right.
But
They
I had
even
no
hired some actors from Baltimore.
Yeah, and I had no idea of how that was going to roll. So I was like, I don't want to be the only black person trying to say, hey, it's got to be better than this. You know what I mean? Like,
Will we see a black resurgence in film the way we've seen it on TV?
I mean, we're seeing it now.
Yeah.
We're seeing it right now. You know, let's see what happened.
Moonlight.
You know, with Hidden Figures, Moonlight, and Fences, and Get Out. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you're seeing different films of different genres, and different visions, different filmmakers' visions, and so I'm excited about it. I'm like, I got to get back on the floor and just make another movie and show them how it's done.
Yeah, 'cause I don't feel like they're telling those good hood tales right now.
Yeah.
We still ain't seen that good hood movie in a while.
Yeah, well,
Paid in Full might have been the last one.
You think you could do like a New York movie, or you feel like you wouldn't be as ensconced?
what are you
in
talking
as
about?
I mean-
Somebody just tell me about. I mean, you seen
I mean, like
Shaft?
a
You know, I
Boys in
mean,
the
I was up
Hood
in the Heights. You know, every time I do, I mean, I've done stuff in New York. Do you see Illegal Tender?
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
I went
like
to that
when I do New York stuff, I do New York. You know, it's due.
Right.
So,
Okay.
Well, we appreciate you joining us.
oh yeah, it's good to be here.
John Singleton, the legend.
Get out,
OG.
Rebel. Get out, Rebel. There's some stuff in Rebel. It's funny y'all say that. There's some stuff in Rebel that's really quotable in there. You know.
Well, you'll be on the edge of your seat, just like Envy
that's
was
tonight.
when something happened.
Tonight
You'll
at what
definitely
time?
be
At what time?
I think it comes on here at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
On
Eastern
BET.
time
BET.
on BET.
We changing
Watch it.
BET up. It's a whole other thing.
And then the 18-minute mark, it just gets real. Just,
Oh, come
just
on.
let
Would you
I'm
stop
just
with that?
telling 'em.
It might be different because it's commercials and stuff. You
Oh,
saw
yeah,
it without
you're
the
right.
commercials.
You would have people tuning in 20 minutes in, man.
Yeah,
you're
come
right.
on.
All right.
And you got to watch it from the beginning because you'll be completely lost if
Yeah,
you
yeah.
tune
And
in
the other
at
thing
18
is,
minutes.
the other thing is, hey, everybody out there, when you watch this John Singleton, when you watch Rebel, before you watch it in the daytime, set your DVRs in the morning so you have it. So you have it, you know what I mean, and turn the TV on and everything. Because what's happening is, like, these shows, it's just like the box office. You go to first night to see the movie or the first weekend, you got to watch this first episode so we can do real stuff,
Right.
real black stuff on TV. That's what I want, you know what I mean? You know.
Damn right.
And anybody hit me up at John Singleton on IG, because I'm always on there fielding like stuff. Don't ask me for a role or send me a script. If you want to holler at me, holler at me.
You
but
never discovered anybody on Instagram?
Nah, one person. There's one person that's
See?
doing that's in Rebel called Juwan Jones. He's a funny dude, but he's not funny in the show though.
All right, so you can ask for
he's
a
on
role
Instagram.
on
Yeah,
Instagram.
try. Call him on
You
his,
try.
call him on his yacht. Call him on his yacht. All right. John
right.
Singleton is the Breakfast Club. Good morning.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in